So good morning, everyone. Welcome to this debate. It's a very interesting and controversial topic, and we have two great speakers here today. And in this first round, I'm going to ask you to give your position about the statement that you were given. Thank you very much, and let's start with student A. In this case, it's going to be Jorge Davila. You have 1 minute to do it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start with a powerful quote. Smoking-free places take away people's freedom, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. Smoking-free places, they take away your freedom, they take away your freedom of choice, and right now about currently 19% of the world smoke tobacco, and they cannot smoke it as freely as they want. They cannot choose a safe place to smoke. Also, smoking-free places are bad for business because smoking bans are enforced in public places where smokers have to seek for other places where they can smoke in peace, and this means fewer customers for the business. Also, around 249 billion cigarettes were sold in the US last year. And also, smoking-free places lead to less taxes in revenue for government, so it's also bad for government. And that's my statement. I want to hear your opinion about it.
Okay, let's have student B, Mateo. Tell us your point of view.
Do we also need the rebuttal?
Yes, the rebuttal is late.
Okay. So, everyone values their life, right? So why is a product that kills millions of people still in stores? And why cigarettes should not be legal is because the direct and indirect selling of cigarettes causes lung cancer, which in turn causes nearly $12 billion in pulmonary disease. Also, Americans, 450,000 Americans unfortunately lost their lives in 2012 due to cigarette smokes. And also studies have shown that smoke-free laws that prohibit smoking in public places like bars and restaurants help improve the health of workers. So not having a place to smoke means that people will be healthy.
Okay. Those are your statements as to the topic you were assigned. Just remember that Jorge is the should part and Mateo is the should not part. As to the smoking, they should be legal or not. Okay, in the second round, I want to ask both speakers, starting again with student A, in this case Jorge, to review what your opponent has just stated. Thank you very much, and go ahead.
Okay, well, I respect very much your opinion on the topic, and I still feel that smoking-free places are taking away our freedom, are taking away money for the government, and are taking away the possibilities and the opportunities for business to rise, to have the people do what they want in their establishments. Because as we know, smoking cigarettes are a legal habit, a legal product, and they should be smoked where they want to be smoked. And that's my opinion.
Okay, now let's give a chance to Mateo, student B, to review the statements.
Yes. My opponent mentioned before that cigarette sales increase the income of taxes, but to answer that, nearly $12 billion are destined from government social programs to combat cigarette illnesses. So that means that nearly 4 times the amount of what the government receives from sales tax and cigarettes goes to saving people's lives. So it is not profitable in any way. And also, as my opponent mentioned before, about not having a place to smoke. If people have places to smoke in public, that means increasing people's health. Increasing the risk of people's health and increasing their chances of getting cancer, which, as mentioned before, is really costly for the person and for the government.
Okay, now we're ready for the third round, and in this case, I would like to know here in the room, first of all, to see who goes into Jorge's statement saying that smoking should be legal. Please raise your hand. Whereas smoking should be legal. Okay. Now, let's see the next one. The ones that are on the other side should not be legal. Raise your hand. Okay, Sophia, ask a question to Jorge, please.
I want to know, like, is there any situations where there's an exception to it? Like, is there any, for example, people who are very obsessed and has this kind of problem to it, so they can do it just to help them or something like it? Or is there any other situation related to it?
Well, as according to your question, I think that's the problem, because there's no place that I know of that you can that you can smoke if you have a really bad problem with obsession or with anxiety, and that's kind of a huge problem for people with kind of that problems, anxiety and stress, because they have to get out of their place. They have to run to a safe place to smoke, and in some cases they don't get to that place in time to get their smoke.
Okay. Angel, you said that you were against what Mateo says. Could you ask him a question?
Yes. If there's a problem with, if there's a real problem with legalizing other substances, and they are trying to make it illegal to smoke, I don't like weed. Well, if you take away tobacco, imagine the millions of persons that are going to need it, and there's going to be an even bigger problem with trafficking that tobacco. So how would you suggest they manage that problem?
As well, in the 1920s, the U.S. government actually banned the use of alcohol, and that created a underground black market for the sale of alcohol, and this is indeed a problem. But there are really safer alternatives into tobacco. So people still have other ways to make themselves feel less anxious, like for example vapes.
I don't think they do it because it's safe.
Well, not safe, but it's an alternative, and that creates another market, and it moves people from having to risk their lives in the black market, jail times and such, to other ways to smoke.
Okay, thank you. And last, this is to improvise. Participant A, Jorge,
Yes.
tell us some words of wisdom for that matter.
For that matter, well, if you want to smoke, I think you should be able to smoke anywhere you want, but you have to also respect the people that don't smoke, and if they want your smoke in their faces or in the air, you have to be also respectful. So that's it.
Thank you. Now, Mateo, some words of wisdom for the audience.
Yes. Always value other people's opinions and also value your health. So try to investigate for yourselves and make conclusions for yourself.
Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause.